Hello and welcome to Python Programming Complete course. This is part 11, built-in functions in Python. In this video, we will discuss some built-in functions in Python. The Python built-in functions are defined as the functions whose functionality is predefined in Python. Python functions that can be used without importing any library as standard library is available by default when we install Python. To use built-in functions of Python, we simply have to write the name of the function followed by parentheses. Let us discuss some built-in functions in alphabetical order. The first function which we will discuss is the absolute function. Absolute function returns absolute value of a number. As can be seen in this example, in this program, we are trying to return the absolute value of -10, an integer value, and the absolute value of a float type of number. Let's execute and see. You could see the program is returning the absolute value of integer and the absolute value of a float. Next, we have the bin function. Bin function is used to return the binary representation of a specified integer. For example, we are trying to print the binary representation of 23. You can see the output, the binary number, it's starting with 0b, and the rest of the digits, they are in the form of ones and zeros. The CHR function or the character function, it returns the character that represents the specified unary code. You could see in the program we are trying to use the CHR function. We have provided several numbers. These numbers are from the ASCII table, and we want to print the character that represents these numbers. Executing the program, you could see 65 in ASCII table. A has that value, then small a, it has an ASCII value of 97. Then these are the two characters. The complex function, it returns a complex number where real and imaginary parts are provided or a string is provided. Now either the we can skip, like in this print statement, we are not providing any arguments to our function. Then in the second one, we are providing only one argument, and in the third and fourth, there are two arguments. So either the real or the imaginary numbers, they are omitted there, or both of them can be provided. If one of them is not present, then a 0 is being assigned in its place, and the result is printed in the form of the complex number. The output is in the form of a complex number. The output of the complex function where no argument is being provided, we could see it's only 0j. Then the next one, we have the complex number as 2 plus 0j. Then we have 8 minus 4j, and the last one we have 5 plus 2j. Now both a negative and the positive numbers can be provided for the imaginary part. Since we are taking up the functions in alphabetical order, next we have the dict function, which we have already discussed in the previous videos, which is used to create a dictionary. Next we have the dir function, which returns a list of the attributes and the methods of any objects like functions, modules, strings, lists, dictionaries, etc. And if we are using the dir function with no object, like no object is being passed, it will return a list of the names in the current local scope. If we are importing any library, for example, we are importing the math library, and then we use the dir function, it will return a list of the names of all the attributes contained in that particular module. Let's execute the program. You could see the names in the current local scope and the names when we have imported the math library. Eval function parses the expression and returns the result evaluated from that expression. For example, we are passing an expression to the eval function, 5 into 5 multiplied by 5, but it is passed as a string, then to eval function will evaluate it and give us the result. Similarly, we could be in this line we have a variable and we are trying to add some number to that variable which is passed as a string to the eval function. The result of both these print statements where we are using the eval function could be seen. 5 into 5 we are getting 25 and 20 plus 30 we are getting 50. Frozen sets function we have already discussed. Next we have the format function. The format function returns the formatted version of the given value controlled by a format specifier. For example, we are trying to format this integer number. Then in the next line we are trying to format the float type of value. Then we are passing a number and we are trying to format it as a boolean. Similarly, together with format we have certain format specifier also, like we can add we can have 1,000 separator, like in this line we can specify the for example, we can specify how many digits will be there in the number, what will be the precision, what will be the width of the number which we are trying to print. We can give the sign which should be printed with the format when we are using the format function. Let's see the result. So integer value is being printed with this statement. You could see the float value being printed, it is being formatted, extra zeros are being added. Then integer value with 1,000 separators is being printed. We have a float value where the number of the width and the number of digits, that is the precision we have given, that it should be 4. So we got 4 digits after the decimal place. The global function returns the dictionary of current global symbols table. The output shows all the global variables and other symbols for the current program. Simply, we do not need to pass any argument to the global function. Simply, we could use the global function name together with parenthesis. You could see all the global variables being printed for us. Help function executes the built-in help system. When we are using the help function without any argument, it will invoke the built-in help system, and if we are passing any name of any function, it executes and returns the help related to that particular object which is being passed as the argument. You could see the first statement, it has invoked help. I can type in the name of any keyword or symbol or a module and get help related to that. Now if I want to come out of the built-in help, I simply have to type in quit. It will bring me out, and this print the help on print which we are getting is from the second statement in our. The hex function converts the specified number into a hexadecimal value. We are using the hex function, and we have provided a number to the function. It will print the value, or it will print the answer in hexadecimal. With you could see the output. Next in line we have the input function, int function, length, list, max, min, which we have already discussed and which we use in our programs frequently. We are not discussing those functions in this video. Next we have the oct function, which converts the specified number into octal value and prints the result value. The output could be seen. The odd function returns the number representing the Unicode of a specified character. For example, we are trying to print the number which from the ASCII table, the corresponding number for small d, capital K and asterisk. The output could be seen. You could see the ASCII value 100, 75 and 42. Print function is the most commonly used built-in function which we use in almost all of our programs, and it is used to print the any statement or the value of a variable on the standard output. Now there are various arguments which can be passed to the print function, and instead of writing the output on the standard output that is on your screen, you could write it on a file also. We'll see that in this particular program. Now your print function, it takes the objects. Then we also have some more arguments which can be passed, like a separator. We can specify an end to our print statement, that once it has printed the statement, how we want to end that statement, and both the separator and the end, they must be string. Then we can specify whether to write on the screen or to a file, and plus we have the last argument, that is the flush, which is to which our keyword is being passed, like false or true. By default it is false. Now we'll discuss that as well. The first statement, it is trying to print Python and program follow with a separator. The second statement, here we are trying to end the statement with a value which we have provided as end. Then after that we are using the open and the close functions to open a file, and we are trying to print the output instead of printing the output of the print statement on the standard output, the system.standard output, which is set by default. We are trying to print it to a file. A file will be created, and that this statement will be printed in that particular file. In the last statement we have used flush, and we have assigned a keyword as false. If we are using false, the stream is not forcefully flushed. Now flush allows the user to decide if he wants his output to be buffered or not. By default it is false, and if we set it to true, the output will be written as a sequence of character, one after the other. Let's see the output of this program. You could see the first statement, it is printing Python and program with a separator. The second statement, it is having a separator as well as ending with asterisk, and then this line is not being printed because the output is written to a file, and that file is being created. We'll discuss that also. And the last one is again printing the Python program. Now we have created a file, test.txt. You could see the file being created, and if I open the file, Python programming is fun to learn is written in this file is being created, and it has written the output of the program in this particular text file. Next in line, we have already discussed the power, range, and the reverse function. Range function, we have discussed it, if we use it together with the print statement, it will print the numbers given in that particular range where we have the start value and the end value. It will print the numbers. Reverse we have used with list as in the previous videos. The round function, when we pass an argument to round, it rounds a number to a given precision in decimal digits. For example, we have provided a float type of number 34.678, and we want to round it to the 2 decimal places. In the next one, we want to round it off to the 3 decimal places. So you could see the output. For the first one, we got a value of 34.68. 678 has been converted into 68, and for the second one we got 567.3434. Then there are many list, tuple, dictionary, set functions which we have already discussed in the previous videos. Like told earlier, we have various file functions and class and object functions which we will discuss in the upcoming videos when we are talking about files and classes and objects. In the next video, we will discuss error and exception handling in Python. Stay tuned for upcoming videos, and thank you for watching.